The situation in South Africa. We have a situation in South Africa. A big situation. The situation has got to do with equality. Situation has got to do with basic human rights. The situation has got to do with getting all of that to everyone. And no one knows how to do it. We're trying to use logic and reason. You will notice when you watch every single video of what's going on in South Africa, between what the EFF is saying, the BLF group, the ANC, DA, and AfriForum. If you look at what everyone is saying, what are we using? We're using statistics. We're using statistics to back our arguments. Everyone is using statistics. We're also using history. History, his story, whose story? Your story, my story, her story, his story, that story, or the story we just want to believe. I mean, what is history? Who has an actual record of history? No one. We had people that wrote about history. We have stories that was sent down the line to tell stories. And then we have recent history. Recent history, yeah, we can check that to a degree, but we know how easy it is to twist words. But let's stick to facts, facts that we can all see. Let's stick to facts that we can all agree on. Let's stick to facts that doesn't require a story. Let's stick to facts that doesn't require us to have statistics. Let's have facts that can be substantial enough that every single person in South Africa can stand behind those facts equally as one and agree on those facts because they are real. You cannot deny them. So this is a solution for South Africa if we are willing to hear what I'm about to say. What is the facts? The facts is we're all human. The fact is we all eat, drink, sleep, and we all need shelter. The fact is we all want security, safety, and a dignified life. The facts are facts, so I'm not lying, I know. The fact is we all want a clean, secure environment. The fact is we all want money because money is the current medium through which we acquire all the basic human needs. Money isn't available. If money was available for everyone equally in South Africa, we would have never had a land problem because people could have bought the land because they had money. But money never came. Handouts came, but very, very small, not substantial. It's handouts that does barely anything. You need quite a lot of money to live a dignified life as a normal citizen in a country such as South Africa. You don't live off 300 Rand for a grant or 900 Rand or 1,500 Rand for a retirement grant. That's not enough to live at all. You live off 10,000 Rand a month. And the fact is that if everyone in South Africa got 10,000 Rand or more a month 20 years ago for life, everyone could have been buying their own land, building up their own land, giving their children education, buying their food, having transportation, and having good education, going to college, having degrees, starting a life, living a life. This is a fact. We all want a life that's worth living. So money and the distribution of money has always been the problem. Racism is now currently used because it's the only weapon left, because no one else cared in the past 100 years. I mean, let's not even go into history. As I said, pointless. But no one cared to look at an equal money system. No one went, hey, these humans in South Africa are all humans. They all need food. They all need water. They all need a decent home. They all need a decent transportation. They all need decent education. They all need a proper living environment. How can we do that? How can we get this to everyone ASAP? No, we look at business, we look at corporations, we look at money, and we look at who can score what, and we forget about the millions in poverty. We forget about our environments that is neglected over the years. And we can blame governments, we can blame everyone, but the people, everyone, doesn't matter what color you are, did not stand up in all that time. Not even the rich stood up and said, hey, how are we going to feed these children? How are we going to get basic human rights to basic people? No one stood up and said that. No one stood up together and made it a priority of life. We've been prioritizing profits. We've been prioritizing bullshit besides human life. We've been neglecting human life as a whole. We've been looking at everyone needs to fit into the current system and somehow survive. Regardless if it's a child starving to death, that child needs to somehow fit into the system and survive. Regardless if it's a father at home wondering how he's going to feed his children today, he must somehow fit into the system and survive. Instead of the system adapting to give basic needs to all equally, because of the value of life, the value of birth, the value of breath, the value of existing was never given value. Value has always been in money. So what is the solution to South Africa? The solution isn't this racist thing going on. It's not going to solve anything because human nature is still going to remain exactly the same. Doesn't matter who you think has a good or bad human nature is going to remain the same. We need to look at a basic income, a living income that is given from birth to death to every citizen in South Africa that cannot qualify for a job, that cannot currently, in the status that they are, get out of their position. It must be qualified people, and that will be up to 27 million people. That you give a certain amount of money to these people every single month, as long as you can and will, till they educate themselves and upgrade themselves and get jobs, because jobs aren't magically going to appear. You can't wait 4 or 5 years for 6 million jobs to be created. That might never happen. That's a fairy tale you're selling. But what can you create? Fractured reserve banking creates money out of thin air. We can print money today. It's made up. We can all just print money and give it to people. We can even go digital. I mean, cryptocurrencies are showing something very nice. Get electronics to everyone, give them a monthly budget, so that that budget exceeds poverty. That budget must alleviate a person from hatred, anger, resentment. And it must put a person in a position of creation, of expansion and expression, and to have dignity. But no one's going to agree to this because we are so entrapped in this system. Doesn't matter if you are against colonization, doesn't matter if you're against what whites brought or what blacks brought or what Indians brought or what Chinese brought. Guess what? We all participate in the money system. And if it's capitalism, communism, socialism, it doesn't matter. It's a money system. We need to step beyond the money system's limitations of everything is scarce and limited. And we must give as we would like to receive, unconditionally. Because then you will receive tenfold back. And not necessarily money, but in a life worth living. In a fearless life. A life where fear does not exist. A life where hatred doesn't exist. Where separation doesn't exist. Are we willing to bring that to a country that is currently in a position it is within South Africa? And yeah, if we give every person that's currently in poverty, which is up to 27 million people in South Africa, a living income guarantee. Living. Let's be very specific on that word, living. I mean, you don't want to survive every month. You want to live. You want to be able to participate in the buying power within this country. Where's the money going to come from? Don't make that an issue. Just make the freaking money. Just give it. Is a civil war, is death, murder, rape, poverty more important than just making money and giving it to people? I mean, what are we prioritizing here? Are we prioritizing suffering over laws and rules that causes abuse and suffering? And then we are escalating to the position we are at now today in South Africa, which is what? Not a very bright future for anyone. Don't think because you're a certain color you're going to have a bright future somewhere. Shit's going to stay the same. Let's be realistic. Be very real with yourself about what can happen and probably will happen if we don't change course in this country. So let go of all the logic, let go of the reason, let go of the tree that you're eating from, the tree of knowledge, the tree of good and bad, and let's eat from the tree of life, because that's what we are all seeking and craving, and that we can all agree on and is a fact. We all seek life. We all seek basic needs met. We all seek expression. We all seek happiness. We all seek love. We all seek enjoyment, fun. That's what we all seek. But we're very desperate currently because it has not come. Even when change came 27 years ago, it's not here. Well, not 27, but 24. It's not here yet. And that's getting frustrating. And now we're using each other as swords and weapons because money has so much value that even life has lost value. Even the very breath we're breathing has lost value. Solution is possible if we dare to look for it and to create it in a real way.